Welcome to 10 Minutes with 10 Leaves, your go to podcast for insightful conversations in under 10 minutes. I'm your host, Rohit, and today we are talking about something that many of us think about but rarely discuss: having multiple career paths and thriving in different industries. We often hear the phrase jack of all trades, master of none. But do you really need to be a master in any? Can we as humans explore different careers and still make something of our lives? Joining us today is someone who has successfully navigated multiple industries, Bhumika Arora. She's worked in education, radio as a voiceover artist, ran her own performing arts academy, and is now making an impact in digital design. Bhumika, welcome to the show.
Hey Rohit, thank you so much. I'm really excited about this conversation because I feel that so many people can relate to the idea of having multiple interests. But then they do feel pressure of choosing just one, right?
You don't need to choose just one,
Hmm.
and that's what we'll explore in today's call. So, Bhumika, your journey has been interesting. You've taken so many different paths: education, radio, entrepreneurship, and now digital design. What was your thought process behind this?
Honestly, Rohit, I had never set out with a rigid career plan. It was always about following my curiosity and then seizing opportunities that I got. When I started in education, I was really passionate about teaching and making a difference. But I also, somewhere, deep down, I had a love for storytelling, which later led me to voiceover work. That world introduced me to a new way of connecting with audiences, which then, later helped me in branding and marketing also. My love for performing arts pushed me to open an academy, an experience that taught me about business, leadership, and resilience. Running a company means dealing with financial planning, customer relations, and also operational challenges. So all the things that I'd never thought I'll be able to master. And now when I talk about digital designing, I find myself merging all these experiences, the ability to communicate, build brands, and engage audiences. When it comes together, it gives me a career that wasn't really a shift, but an evolution.
Wasn't a shift but an evolution. That's interesting. And Bhumika, you do much more than digital design. To be honest, I feel this current journey will add quite a bit to your overall career. A lot of us
Right.
start with one career, right? And then we realize we have other passions. But Bhumika, what about those who insist on sticking to one thing? Did you ever feel the pressure to specialize just in one field?
Rohit, honestly, the pressure has always been there. The deep rooted belief that success only comes from specializing in one thing is somewhere, everybody holds that belief. I used to question myself, was I making a mistake by jumping between industries? But then over time, I realized that the world is changing. Employers and businesses now are looking for adaptability. Having varied experiences doesn't mean that I'm scattered. I feel it means that I'm bringing in multiple perspectives to the table. Like, for example, when I'm attending a business meeting, I feel that I can approach challenges both as a creative person and as an entrepreneur. I can think like an educator while explaining complex ideas and like a marketer when I'm positioning a brand. I started seeing my diverse career not as a liability, but honestly like a strength. And now I want others to see that too. There's no one size fits all career path.
True that. True that. I'm
Hmm.
being an entrepreneur myself. I run companies myself, and I keep telling. I told you this as well, and I
Right.
keep telling everybody. I look for
Hmm.
adaptability, how fast you can learn and how fast you can unlearn, and that's a skill in itself. You know.
Absolutely.
Anyways, so moving on. Okay, let's talk about challenges. Did moving between
Hmm.
industries ever make you feel like you were starting over, like from scratch?
Um, uh, it did feel like that initially, but in the hindsight, I think I never really started from scratch. Every industry I stepped into had some overlap with what I already knew. Like teaching gave me the confidence in public speaking, and which later helped me in radio. And then running a business taught me marketing and customer relations, which I now use for my digital branding. And also voiceover, voiceover improved my ability to connect with an audience, something which is very essential in branding and communication these days. So when you're taking knowledge from one step and applying it elsewhere, you are technically not starting from zero, you're starting from experience, right? So
Absolutely.
I think it's like upgrading a skill set rather than discarding everything and beginning again.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it, actually. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
but Bhumika, sometimes people have this doubt, na, ki, I have a stable job, but I want to try something new. What if I fail? How do you handle this fear of change?
Oh, I think fear of failure is real and it's very, very natural and human. But for me, what's scarier is the regret of not trying, Rohit. I regret a lot if I don't try, if I don't give it a shot. And I can't live with that. I always tell people that you can start small. You don't have to quit your current job to explore something new. You can take a course, start a side project, and these days freelancing is such a great option. So testing the waters makes the transition easier, and it helps you build confidence before making big career shifts. I remember when I first stepped into digital design, I really was questioning myself that am I actually even good at it? And slowly I started by designing small projects for my own business and then for friends and relatives. And slowly, gradually, I gained that confidence that I can actually turn this into a full-fledged career. So I believe that small steps do lead to big changes.
Fear of failure is normal, but regret of not trying is scarier. That's my new WhatsApp message.
Absolutely. Good
It's
one.
so, yeah, it's something which a lot of people need, maybe an external push saying that, okay, fine, it's okay. I want to explore multiple career paths, but how do I go about all this? How do I manage all this without feeling overwhelmed? What would you say to someone like that?
Uh, Rohit, for me, the key has always been a perfect balance and prioritization. So, you don't have to really do everything at once.
Hmm.
You can identify your core skills and passions, and then you figure out ways to integrate them. And somewhere, time management, that has been very, very crucial. Like, I plan my week around different projects so that I can give each role its due focus, its importance, right? I mean, at the
Mhm.
end of the day, you should feel that you're doing justice to what you're doing, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So most importantly, I keep reminding myself that it's really okay to evolve. You don't have to do the same thing forever and ever. So if you feel that your passion lies somewhere else, do give it a shot.
Some good points there, Bhumika. And what I caught was balance and time management, which are very important
Hmm.
and also the most difficult. So,
Yes,
anyways,
tricky. Hmm.
I know it's very tricky, and that's where I guess a lot of people get overwhelmed. But thanks for that. Uh, and
Yes.
what about? I think earlier I asked you a question about the same thing. But what about people who feel judged for changing their career paths too often? How do you deal with external criticism?
Oh, criticism is always going to be there. Whether you do one thing for the rest of your life or you keep changing roles, it's always going to be there. People have questioned me when I moved from education to radio, then to business, and now digital design. I mean, I keep getting that question, ki ab kya kar rahi ho? Are you doing something new now?
Sharma
So
ji ka beta.
it's going to be bilkul, bilkul. I keep getting that question, and if they don't ask me that, I feel that okay, is everything okay? So it's normal. And at the end of the day, Rohit, I feel that, my career is my journey and I have all the rights to define it. So what works for others may not work for you, and that's completely okay. The important thing for me has always been to keep learning and growing. Don't let the opinions of others stop you from exploring new avenues and pursuing your dreams.
Bhumika, this has been a great conversation. You've shown that having multiple passions isn't a weakness, it's a superpower. Before we wrap up, what's the one piece of advice you'd give to someone feeling stuck in their career?
I'd say that don't let fear of the unknown stop you. Explore, experiment, and embrace change. The world is full of opportunities, Rohit, and you never know, right, where your next passion might lead you.
Mm,
Keep learning, keep growing, and don't be afraid to rewrite your own story.
that's fantastic advice. And on that note, we come to an end of this episode of 10 Minutes with 10 Leaves. Thank you so much, Bhumika, for joining the conversation.
You're welcome, Rohit. I had a great time chatting with you.
To our listeners, stay curious, stay adaptable, and most importantly, stay true to yourself.